Hey everyone, welcome to Tech Thursday. Today I'm joined by Kim Courteau. Kim will share a story about a issue she was having with her Surface Studio, the 28-inch desktop version of the Surface devices and family. It took 3 or 4 of us to try to guess what was going on, but Kim finally troubleshot the problem herself. Here we go. Kim, I know we were talking the other day about a technical issue you were having with your Surface. Would you like to share what your situation was and what eventually we found out to be the outcome?
Yeah, absolutely. So last Thursday, I noticed that my mouse kept jumping to the top left-hand corner of my screen, and it started off kind of slow, and then it got pretty fast, where anytime I was doing anything, it was jumping to the top left. And I tried everything. I tried uninstalling the mouse. I disabled the drivers. Pretty much tried everything I could, and then I would reinstall the mouse. I turned my computer off. I went through a bunch of different settings. I searched online and I found all these things that you could do, and none of it worked. So I went through the awful experience, as having to reinstall Windows. It's not it's actually a lot easier than it used to be, but still, nobody wants to do that. But I decided, okay, let's give it a try. Friday rolls around, it's still doing the same thing. It's jumping up to the left-hand corner. And then I'm like, okay, well, it's the weekend. I'm just going to go out in the kitchen and work on my Surface laptop. So I did. Monday morning rolls around and I'm like, okay, well, I got to get my studio fixed, which is my primary device, because I love this thing. It's such a wonderful device. I'm so productive on it. I am hoping that I can fix it. So I sit down, I've got my laptop in my office, and I'm working and I'm talking to you, Dan. I'm talking to you and some of your peers and saying, help, I can't figure this out. All of a sudden, it starts doing the same thing on my laptop. So now both my laptop and my studio, the mouse is jumping up to the top left-hand side of the screen, and they're both completely unusable. At this point in time, I've disabled everything in my office that I could think of. I've taken batteries out of pens. I've taken batteries out of my Surface Dial. I had a Death Star floating Bluetooth speaker. I unplugged it and I hid it in the closet thinking maybe that was it. And none of it did it. And I'm just sitting there staring and wondering, why is this happening to me? And so I looked at this thing on my desk and I'm like, interesting. I wonder if I turn this off, if it will fix my problem. And sure enough, this is what it was. And I'm sharing this for you. It was a plasma lamp. So this silly little toy that was sitting on my desk and has been sitting there since March, all of a sudden Thursday, and I noticed the lights were going out on it. I thought, oh, well, the toy's dying. It's, just a silly little toy. So when I turned the power off to it, instantly my mouse worked on both my devices. And so it was RF frequency. So I searched online, plasma lamp interference, and one of the first things that came up, it says plasma lamps can cause interference with mice and trackpads.
Wow. Have you discovered any other mouse or trackpad settings that you didn't know or that you were reminded of in troubleshooting this whole thing?
Yeah, there was some interesting mouse settings. So if you go in Windows, if you go into your mouse settings, and here I'll just stop sharing that plasma lamp here because nobody wants to see that thing anymore.
And you said you threw it away?
Yes, I threw it away. I would show you the real one, but it is now in the garbage where it belongs. So if you go into Windows under mouse settings, you'll see the typical, select your primary button and your cursor speed. But if you go to the right-hand side, and let me go ahead and share this window here. I'll just share my whole screen. So you can see that, and here we go. So you can see here that we have the mouse, but if we go to additional mouse options, and I am on a Surface Studio, so it might be really small. And so you can go to your pointer options, the middle button, and you can notice there's a few things about enhance the pointer precision. This is one that I toggled on and off. It's an interesting option. I never knew it was there. Still trying to understand exactly all it does, but we have a few other ones. Snap to automatically move your pointer to the default button in dialog box.
That occurred to
pointer.
We were talking about
look at that. Yeah.
I thought, what if there's a dialog box up in the upper left, something else?
Yeah. Yep. So it wasn't that setting. And then, hide the pointer while typing. I had that selected. Show the location of the pointer when you hit Control key. Now this one actually is handy. I'm going to turn this one on my Surface Pro. I go between several monitors, and sometimes I do have a hard time finding my mouse pointer. So let's go ahead and click on that. Now when I hit the Control key, whoa, look at that.
It's
That was
awesome.
pretty cool.
The target.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn that on my Pro when I go back downstairs where that device is located. So yeah, a couple of cool features.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing.
Yeah. My pleasure.
So thanks, Kim, for that information on using the troubleshooting in Windows and troubleshooting in the physical environment to solve a problem. The next thing I'd like to show are some additional mouse settings that I've found extremely important, and those can be found in the modern mouse settings menu. They allow you to decide how the behavior of the mouse works, but up here in the upper right, we'll use that control tip that Kim shared with us, I can adjust the mouse cursor in size. Besides what Kim shared, this is another thing that I have found extremely useful. I can invert the mouse, which gives me like a black on white, depending on what my background looks like, and I can increase its size, making it much easier just to spot when I have somewhere it over something on the screen, like down in the corners or up at the top. So that's another setting from a mouse perspective that you can customize. The final thing I'll share with you is if you're using a Microsoft Precision mouse like this, it's got buttons on the side, and the buttons can actually be programmed to different actions. So I'll bring up my mouse and keyboard center, and I'll show you that my buttons, my thumb forward takes me to my previous desktop, and my thumb rear button takes me to my next desktop. So imagine being able to switch desktops with those left or forward and back buttons, and then the middle button brings up all of the different desktops I have, my apps, and this view. Super useful.
My pleasure.
And that's it for Tech Tuesday. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Take care.